Oh, now it wants to work. Okay, interesting. Um, okay, whatever. I don't even know what to say. Uh, all right, so if you guys could, if you need the link, I'll just get the link because chances are someone's gonna need the link. So I'll just grab it. It's easier. Let me refresh YouTube. Oh yeah, back to the Dybbuk thing. So, according to Jewish mythology, it is basically a evil spirit of a dead person. Um, but um, I mean, to me, that's just like a ghost or a demon, right? But um, as far as you know, like I don't know, Supernatural's weird because in the show, even though it's like the same kind of thing, they separate it by species. So they would say they separate each ghost or each spirit, like each disembodied spirit, by different species. Like, you have your typical ghost in the house, and you have like a poltergeist, then you have like a vengeful spirit, which is different than that, and then you have this, and then you have that. And to me, it's all the same thing. But um, so Dybbuk is
Well,
basically,
real ghost hunters make the same classifications, so
yeah, well, because yeah, I don't. To me, and take this with a grain of salt, obviously, but to me, there's only two original, species, angel and human, and every other thing is derivation. What's the word? Derivation? No.
deviation.
Yeah, basically it's a, you know, deriving from one of those two things. But that's again my personal views. Not has nothing to do with Supernatural, the show.
I would like to hear more about those. I find them interesting.
Well, speaking of which, since we have some people here, maybe some people, uh, I'll just. Well, I was gonna say game time. Nostra is once again deafened, but um, speaking of that, I was gonna ask if anybody. I have my own original RPG that I would like to go get back into designing, and if anyone is interested in helping with that, that's kind of it's along the lines of stuff like that. So if you want to do that, then you're
Yeah.
more than welcome. Yep. We've got to figure out a system because the system I was using was like a derivation. Oh my God, that word again. It was a derivation from D&D, which is like 1d20. The only difference is I didn't use modifiers because I thought they were stupid. It's basically just like you have to get, over a 12, and then you roll and you get over a 12. Okay, you win. That was. But now that I've done Star Trek Adventures 2d20, I really like that system, so I might just change it to that. But that's one of those things that we would talk about if you guys decided that you wanted to help with that. Um, all right. So now regarding the stream. When you guys open up the stream to watch it, what do you
12.
see? Do you see it? Um, how do you? Oops, wrong button. How do you physically uh, see it? Does it look normal to you, or is it square? Does that make any sense?
It's square to me.
Okay, because that's what I see. Like I told Mac earlier, it's 12 inches by 12 inches is my monitor, so it's
Yeah.
literally uh, Josh is watching. We are testing the stream with my new
Yeah. It's
monitor.
Hi,
yeah.
Josh.
Definitely.
Okay, so you can
Yeah.
tell it's
What? Well,
square.
let's. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a huge deal as long as it works. The problem that what I'm worried about though is it's gonna stop working at some point. Um, like because already monitors have stopped working, so I'm worried about that, and I definitely don't want it to stop working while we're in a game. Um, but so what I would like to do, um, just want to make sure. Um, I'm gonna message Nostra and let her know we're about to start. We about to start, yo. Um, but what I would like to do, let me open my notebook so I can actually look at it. What I would like to do is, um, yes, we're gonna play Supernatural, but I also want to keep our eyes on the stream to make sure it continues to work. I don't want it to, shut down in the middle and us not know because that has happened before. Oh, I was so mad. I'm so glad I record most of my streams on my computer so I can just upload it after. But we definitely want to keep an eye on stuff as we're going. So this might not be as heavy a role play session as normal. This is, but I'm open to suggestions as far as how to make things like better because I know right now. I mean, I'll show you what my other I showed Mac, but I'll show you what my other monitor looks like. So you can see how square the one on this one is a 1990s monitor. You can tell because look at the buttons. And then this one, you can see the line going down. It used to have a green hue, and then I messed with the whoops, there we go, the cord, the video cord, and it became blood red. And then I messed with it again, and now it's good. Well, it's darker. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely darker. Well, I guess you can tell like that. You can tell it's definitely darker than this one. But that's pretty much my system right now. The other monitor is I need another splitter for that, but eventually I want to put that together. Um,
Looks like a scene from Hackers.
but also let me, as far as like not detecting, so you see where it says, I'll show you over here. Well, hold on. There we go. You see where it says, normally if you click detect, it'll detect both monitors, and then you can like hook it up, and you can see one screen here and then another screen on the other one, but it's only detecting one for some reason. So I think it thinks that both monitors are the same monitor. But anyway, back to what we were doing. Ugh. And unfortunately, apparently nobody sells the old style video and audio things anymore. It's just USBs, HDMI stuff now. So, um, but I'll eventually, if this stuff doesn't work out, I'll just have to order it. Did we? Okay, so since Tolly isn't playing, I'm just gonna say that you guys have been back to your your bunker. Question though. So you got Nostra. Your character got your Corvette back, right? Yeah. Um, I still have my car. Uh, you guys, I believe since the Mac, your car was still damaged. Because when we got there, he was already turned into a kitsune, so he couldn't finish fixing it. But if I remember correctly, I think we said that we would have someone come and get it and tow it to and somewhere else to have it fixed or something like that. Do you remember that, or am I making that up?
Basically, he's friend. He basically my person isn't the same. My
Oh, it's
mechanic
not the
isn't the
same.
same person.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
So yours isn't even there. Okay, so that makes
yeah.
it easier. Okay, so then the only one that would be there is the Mustang, Nostra's Mustang, I think. Um, in that case, then that'll be the car that we have to send someone to get eventually. Um, but that's in the future. That's fine. By the time we restart in January, we can say that you have all your cars at the bunker, everything's fixed up. Um, and plus, you do have money out of a one between one and on a scale of 1 to 5. Both of you have a wealth of 5. I have a wealth of 3. So I can buy like normal cars. Y'all can buy whatever you want. You're basically like Bruce Wayne or Donald Trump. You can literally buy a small country if you want, um, which I'm still jealous about. uh, but yeah. So like I said before, we'll start the game as normal. For you guys at the bunker. You tell me what you want to do, However, I do have a somewhat storyline in mind, but I'm not gonna adhere to it as closely as I would in a normal game because of the situation, the setup I have um, at the moment. I want to make sure we keep our eyes on more the stream than anything to make sure that everything is, still there. And if it cuts out for any reason, let me know. I've got it on. I also have it on mute. So, um, yeah. So since you're at the bunker, let me go ahead and move you guys to the bunker. I'll just do the bunker road, the road outside the bunker for right now. That's not there. All right. Oh, you can see Charlie's car. I don't know whose car that is. Maybe it's the Impala. Anyway, um, so before we get into anything, is there anything that either of you wants to do in the bunker? Like how Pepsi owned an entire military force again, the sixth most powerful in the world for a moment. When did that happen? Is that in a movie?
No, it actually happened. Basically, they tried to basically sell their products to the Soviet Union, and since the Soviet Union realized that they can't really give their money, they just decided, fuck it, let's just trade our fucking ships and submarines. Approximately 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer was given to Pepsi so Pepsi could sell their shit.
That's crazy.
I'm not joking.
Um, Oh, and by the way, Durlock, if you're still listening to YouTube, I can get a link, like a direct link to this chat, and then I can send it to you. I don't know if that will help, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So try that link in case you can't hear me. Um, but it might let you in. I don't know. I've never used it by link, so it might not work. I don't know. I don't know how links work when it comes to live chat. Anyway, um, so actually, okay. Well, before we get any further, I just read something. Master Krebo, I just saw that you said. Let me go back to it. Um, you want to hop on. Oh, and so you want to hop on and record the game as well for practice with OBS? Is that what you're doing? I just want to make sure. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna care.
No,
Um,
I don't object.
I
It's
just
okay. You can record.
Well, the other thing, because I remember a long time ago, you mentioned that eventually, and I'm not streaming this. Yeah, I mean, do whatever, I don't care. But because I'm streaming it to YouTube, it might conflict if you use our account though. So, if you're recording it on your end on your computer without trying to stream it, then it makes sense. But I remember a long time ago you said that if your schedule permitted, you'd want to join the game. So if you want to take this time also to make a character, feel free to do that. Um, there's kind of a rule. It's not really a rule, but it's kind of a rule to make a hunter because it just makes sense. Um, but the other rule, quote unquote, is to make someone who either knows the rest of the characters or is related to them or has some kind of background with them because pretty much everyone Dean and Sam runs into on the show, they're either related to or they're cut, they're the dad, they worked with their dad or something like that. Um, yeah, I know Tolly. Uh, I think we know you're Josh, or we know you're Josh and Tolly, but maybe somebody doesn't. I don't know, but I do. Um, anyway, so yeah, if you want to make a character, in fact, anyone who's watching, if you're watching and you're on the server and you're not in the game, feel free to just reach out, and we can make a character. But if you want to use this time to make a character, I God, let me check actually. There might be a character creation part section somewhere. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so penned it says a hunter, typical hero of the story, monster, typical villain. You can be government, military, sometimes ally. So me, Nostra, and Mac, we're all playing three brothers who are all either military, current military, or former military, or something along that nature. So um, we kind of got both hunter and government slash military. Men of letters. So if you want to play a men of letters, you technically would be a hunter too. Civilian, I don't unless you want to be like one of those civilians who they occasionally come across who knows there's something out there but then sees like a ghost, and then Dean and Sam comes in and rescues them, and then they become a hunter later. I think Charlie was one of those. Then that's fine, but just a normal civilian, that's going to get really boring. Like if you're just playing some random person that has to be saved every other episode. um Child, yeah, don't pick unless you are playing a teen, because we don't really. I'm not trying to rescue kids from monsters, um, and that's pretty much what's going to end up happening. It's just every episode we'll have to rescue the kid from a monster. Um, let's see what else. I'm trying to see if there's anything else there. Um, I know there is. I just don't know. Eh, I guess that the rest of the character creation either didn't get typed out or wrote out, or we just lost it somewhere because I don't see it. Um, but anyway, moving on. So, what are you guys doing in the bunker? I'll go ahead and tell you, Baron is. Um. Oh, by the way, Nostra, regarding the kitsune thing, did you get completely healed, or did you end up turning? I don't remember.
I was completely healed up.
Okay, yeah. You were almost a
Oh,
kitsune for a hot minute.
and then you convinced me to drink the entire thing to prevent that.
I mean, I don't know if I
Oh,
convinced you, but I thought it was a good idea.
it was a roll of the dice.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
the
yeah.
roll of
well,
the dice.
yeah, I let RNGesus say it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you basically had the option out of character, and then in character it was kind of like a random, like, would you do it kind of situation, and you were like, you know what, I'm gonna stay human. So you're not a kitsune. Um, but yeah, so ever since that mission, Baron is kind of just I wouldn't say he's isolated or secluded, but he is definitely a bit more distant. As far as, like, he's not going out of his way to have long conversations with you guys. If you ask him questions or talk to him, he'll answer questions and talk to you like normal. But like I said, he's not going out of his way to be super chummy with you guys. But Mac, I'll start with you. What is Mac? What is Alex been up to? And we'll say that you guys have been back for about a week now.
He's probably been looking through the garage to see what other vehicles are there. So
Okay.
he's
Well, combined with the fact that you can buy pretty much anything, you could, if you any car. I think, if I remember correctly, this base was last used in like the late. Actually, you know what? Let me look it up. I think it's the 50s, because I think most of the cars are going to be from the 50s. But basically, you can pick any car you want from the 50s. Um, to be your actual vehicle, or to be a vehicle that you drive. But let me look. History and details, that's probably where it's going to be. Um, construction, 35, finished in 35. Okay, but it doesn't really say when it was last used. Wasn't there an episode that I didn't watch where some lady from the 50s showed up, and then Jack killed her or something? Maybe I'm imagining things. But yeah, I mean, I would
oh
even.
my gosh.
What? What happened? Did I miss something? Are you there, Matt?
I just saw saw a car that I'll show you because it's funny.
Yeah.
They
So
actually made it.
so you basically, I mean, it says it started in the 30s, ended in the. So yeah, I would say late 50s, maybe early 60s. I mean, we can always also say that you guys bought cars and put them there. So it's not like these are cars that you just cars that you guys found. Um, but yeah, just let me know what kind of car. Um, and then, so while you're looking for that, Nostra, what's David been up to for the last week? How's he handling almost becoming a monster?
Really?
What happened?
Probably.
Are you there?
Sorry. Sorry. I've been having problems focusing. I've kind of had a weird headache on like one side of my skull.
Ooh, that sucks. It's not a migraine, is it?
Probably. It might probably be one.
Well,
I guess. I mean, dealing with finals is a bitch, anyways.
yeah. I hope you get better soon, because I know
Hopefully.
those suck.
Either way, he's reeling and probably trying to get his mind focused on something else to the
Okay.
point of just ignoring everyone, almost.
Okay. Well, since Mac, your character is in the garage, I'm going to say, do you at all start any of the vehicles, or are you just looking at the cars trying to decide which one you want?
Basically, he's going around and um he would turn on one of them.
Okay.
It'd be a 1960s vehicle.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Did you find one yet that you could show me?
yeah.
All right.
Um.
Just put it either in the Gilded stream channel or Roll20, because those are the two that I'm looking at.
Yeah. I'll put it in here. The gilded.
Okay.
Uh,
But as you turn on the car, or I would say probably like 30 seconds later, um, even I mean 60s cars are obviously not that much. I mean they don't have that much electronics in them, but they do have a little bit, lights and stuff like that. So some of the lights begin to flicker, and then the car just dies for no apparent reason that you can see.
that's the
Uh,
vehicle.
a 64 and a half Mustang, is that? Maybe 65.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that car just you turn it on just to hear it, and it just dies. Flickers probably for about 10 seconds, and then everything just clunk, 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 dies.
Okay. He goes and opens the boot, checking the engine.
Okay. In America, the boots don't have the engines. It's the front of the car that has
Uh,
it's
yeah, it would. I mean,
okay. Um, you open the
but
hood.
some cars do have.
Yeah, well,
But some
like
cars
one
do.
or two, like in America, the Volkswagen and maybe like a freaking Corvette or something. But anyway, that's beside the point. You open the hood and look at the engine. Is your character like a mechanic or good at machinery or knows cars or completely not?
He's good at. Yeah, he knows a bit about
He does.
engines. Not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as you can tell, this car's engine and even the electronics, all the wiring, everything, it looks like it's in perfect condition as far as you can tell just by looking at it.
Okay. Um. He goes and finds a. Because he's assuming there's toolkit around for
Right.
just to test the engines. Yeah. So he goes and finds it and tests if the battery is still working.
Yep, battery is in good condition, or I mean, it's been sitting probably, unless this is a car that you went out and bought and brought in. If that's the case, then yeah, everything's in perfect condition. If it's not, then the battery is, you know, it's a little old. But the fact that it started, it should have stayed on. Battery wouldn't, unless the battery connections were just so eroded. But just looking at it, it looks like it's in, a normal condition. It should still be running. Um, And as you're doing that, another car, just some random 50s car in the corner behind you, the radio comes on, and all you hear is static coming from it.
What the heck? He goes, he closes the boot and then runs back up.
Okay.
He goes, he goes to the main room to see if there's any of his brothers in there.
Um, is David in the war room or no?
He's most likely there.
Okay, I'll just say that
Yeah.
as you walk in and see David there, Baron walks in as well, and he says, "You look like you've seen a ghost, Alex. What's going on with you?"
Some weird shit's happening in the garage.
Oh, okay. Get a frickin' what kind of weird stuff? Can you be a bit more specific?
Like, the radio turned on in a car, and a car that I was trying to start up actually did start up, but didn't stay on.
I mean, they're old cars. That's probably just, maybe the battery's dead or.
No.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. That doesn't sound very suspicious to me. I look over to David and say, "What about you? What do you think?" I think he's losing his mind, to be honest with you.
How about we just figure out how about instead of just immediately doubting whatever's going on, how we see for ourselves?
Fair enough. Let's go. Lead the way, Mr. Alex.
Okay. Mr. Baron.
He just chuckles. All right, sure. And then he follows
He
you
goes
guys.
down. Yeah, he takes them down to the spot he was at, and he points to the car. I ain't going closer to it.
He just looks at it over to the two of you, and just shakes his head. And as one right now, nothing is going on. Like nothing is on. Um, the cars. There's no cars on. There's no radios on. He just shakes his head and says, I don't see anything."
Yeah, he goes, okay, if you aren't going to go over there, he goes, walks over and just checks the boot and the inside of the car.
He follows you, and he looks around. And as you guys get to the same Mustang that you were at earlier, the overhead lights begin flickering, and then after a few seconds they die, and the entire garage is black as night. And then Baron just whispers,
I told you!
Fine. Did anybody bring an EMF meter?
No.
Alright, I'll go back and get one. You guys look for sulfur or something. And then Baron just turns and heads back upstairs to go find an EMF meter to test for spirits.
He goes over to the car that was playing music, had the radio turned on. You can feel around.
Alright, what are you looking for?
He wants to open the boot.
Where the engine is or where the trunk is?
The trunk.
Okay. You open it, and it's an old 50s car. So there's pretty much just dust and old tools and stuff in it. Nothing out of the ordinary.
What's on the back seat?
What's on the back seat? Like there's nothing. It's like someone finished using it and parked it and left it there for 100 years or 50 years.
Okay. Then he's gone back over to his brother David.
Okay.
Yes, he goes to David. This reminds me of a horror movie that I watched.
By the way, I haven't seen that horror movie, so I don't know if there's anything similar between these.
Let me guess. Where the group splits up, and one by one, every single person dies until the final girl survives. And then eventually she dies herself, correct?
No. It's about a group that was in a garage, and a car came alive and actually went around killing people.
Are you talking about Christine?
Yes.
That's a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie. I like that movie. I might actually put that in this game at some point. Just have the car from
Yes.
that movie.
A shitpost.
No, just have that car from that movie be actually possessed. I mean, you remember Mac? You remember that one episode where the one with Paris Hilton in it? I think.
Yep.
Yeah, the same kind of thing, except the demon or the ghost or somebody possesses a car and makes the car go around killing people. That'd be funny. Anyway.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, what do you do next? You guys are still in pitch darkness, by the way. So as you're looking around in the car, you're pretty much just feeling around. Your eyes are slowly adjusting. Yeah. And as you're, I'll say, David, where's David standing, or is he near Alex, or is he kind of moved somewhere else?
Moved somewhere else, most likely.
Okay. So as you're walking, looking around, you feel a 8-foot dark shadow at your shoulder, but when you look, it's gone. And Mac, Alex, as you're getting out of the Mustang, you feel a presence standing behind you.
He looks behind him.
There's nothing there. Obviously, you're by yourself in the garage. What are you, crazy?
He goes, okay. Some weird ass shit's happening.
You both hear what sounds like somebody is scratching a key against one of the cars. You can't tell which car because it's pitch black.
Why would somebody scratch up a car?
I know, poor car.
Yeah, what? He says out loud, what did you do to, what did the car ever do to you? Seriously, it's done nothing to you.
And David, you start to hear whispers in your ears. You can't make out what they're saying, though. As soon as you hear Baron's voice behind you on the steps coming down, the lights come back on, and for a brief moment you both see what looks to be like an 8-foot tall dark shadow in the corner, but it fades into the wall once the light hits it. Guys, I got the EMF meter, and as I show it to you, as Baron shows it to you, it's like screaming in the red, like already. He's just walked down into the garage. He's like, "Oh, that's weird. There's not supposed to be anything in here."
Yes, there fucking is, he says out loud.
Well, I know
and
there is.
And he points to that corner. He points to that corner. Yes, there is.
Okay, I know.
An 8-foot tall.
I believe you now. I'm just saying there's not supposed to be. because you know this is our bunker. It's supposed to be warded off against everything. So let's look around, see if we can't find anything out of the ordinary.
He goes over to the wall and starts pointing at it. Just like,
I
let's
go.
talk.
I walk over with the EMF meter and start scanning it. So whereas when I first walked down into the, or when Baron first walked down into the garage, it was like, it was just going into the red. When I walk over to that corner, it's all the way red, like screaming, and like this is clearly where the source of it is, in this corner towards the edge of the wall. And like literally like 3 feet away from it is the exit, the door to drive the vehicles out. So I look over to you two. I was like, can one of you get the door? We're gonna have to go outside and investigate and see if there's anything around the corner or anything outside. We need to look for some talismans too, in case there's some ghost that's tethered here because somebody brought something. If I remember correctly, some zombies and vampires and a demon invaded not too long ago, so they might have left something.
He looks behind him and looks in the boot, in the trunk.
Okay, so are you looking anywhere other than the trunk, or are you looking everywhere as well as the trunk?
The closest vehicle to the corner.
Okay, that'll be a perception roll. So let's do the first roll. In fact, everybody can roll this. The 3 of us can roll this. It's definitely gonna be. You know what? I think it can be any of the skills. Battle, communicate, discipline, move, or understand. You can use any of those, but you got to use. I'm gonna say truth, because you're physically looking for something. Let's see. And the difficulty is
Isn't
gonna
it
be.
insight?
Huh? Yeah. Well.
Isn't it insight?
Yeah. I'll say you can use faith or truth, insight or reason. Either one's fine. I just didn't want to use insight/faith because this is more of like you're looking for evidence of something, but it makes sense either way, I think. And I'm gonna say the difficulty is 3. So hopefully somebody gets.
Yeah.
1, 2. Let's see. David still has to roll. I'm gonna look at my because we don't have any momentum yet, but I'm gonna look at my talents to see what I have. Backup plans. Oh. Oh wait, hold on. This is cool. It says whenever you or an ally fails a task, you may add a momentum to the group. So we have a momentum now because we failed. Alright. Oh, and I have lead investigator. Let me click on that so I can read that too. Character has a mind, blah blah blah. The character generates 2 minutes after a successful task. Okay, so we need to succeed. So that's not going to work there. Y'all check your talents, see if you got anything useful. I'm specifically looking for something that's going to remove difficulty, or lower difficulty, I should say. At the start of a scene, you may add 1 threat to ask the Game Master 2 questions about the situation or location. Well, that's well informed. That's also not very fair because I'm technically the Game Master, so I'm not going to spend a threat to ask myself 2 questions. Methodical planning. Okay, so no. Yeah. So we do have a momentum, so if we have to look again at some point, we'll just spend that momentum to get another dice. But for right now, we don't find anything out of the ordinary.
He goes and opens the door.
Okay.
Look on the other side.
Okay. Well, let's roll for that too. We'll make that 2 different rolls, inside and outside, because I mean, inside is lighter than outside. Outside it's nighttime, so I'll go ahead and who wants to take that 1 momentum for a 3rd dice? So
I'll let one of you.
For me, it'll be my battle is 4, and my faith is 12. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16. Does anyone have anything higher than 16?
I got 16 as well.
Okay, what about you, Nostra?
I think
What's your highest skill plus drive? Faith and truth. So like my highest
Alright,
one is
faith
16. Huh?
and truth.
Well, faith or truth, whichever's higher, plus any of your skills will work. Whatever's high.
The thing is, faith and truth are exactly the same.
Well, that's fine then. Just whatever's as if you have something that's higher than 16. So basically, if you have something in a 5, let me turn that down. Then
I have a skill of a 5.
okay, then yeah, that'll work. Which one is it? Is that battle?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and your truth and faith. What are they? Are they 12? Or are they something lower?
They're 9. Both
Okay.
of them are 9.
Then I'll roll because mine's 16, so I'll have the highest. I'm more likely to succeed. So I'm gonna, and then you guys, if you want, you can roll, or you can roll to assist. Either one.
I'm gonna roll.
I'm using a focus of intuition to look for what I'm looking for. Alright, so I got 3 successes, so whatever it is, I found it. But if you guys want to roll to assist to get more momentum, or just roll on your own, that's fine, either way. But I'll go ahead and tell you what I find.
Threat?
You want to give a threat? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take a threat. So okay. Ooh. So nothing.
Only 17, so
Yeah. But you didn't find anything on your
runs
own.
into the wall.
Inside.
He just runs into the wall.
Yeah. No, you don't run into the wall. You just don't find anything. Anyway, so I'll say Baron walks outside, comes back in, and is holding a really creepy doll. In fact, I'm gonna look for the creepiest doll I can find, a picture of it, and it's a small creepy doll. It's like, you know, no more than a foot tall. It's pretty small. Ugh, that is creepy. That's just horrible. All of these, I mean, dolls in general are just creepy, but holy crap. I didn't know they could get, really? I didn't know they could get this creepy.
Alex runs upstairs, it grabs holy water, it comes back down and spits holy water at the doll. Like, I ain't dealing with that shit.
So you put holy water on it and nothing happens. But I just like toss it outside onto the grass, and I'm just like, okay. Well, I'm guessing this has something to do with whatever is going on, but how do we? Because like I hold the little EMF meter, and it's like going crazy. So I'm like, okay, this has definitely got something to do with it. Okay, I'm spending too long on dolls. I'm gonna use this one because it's an actual doll you can buy on Amazon. So yeah, after I toss the doll and make sure I scan it for whatever, I'm gonna just come back in and say, I guess we should burn it? I don't know. I've never dealt with a possessed doll before. What do you guys think?
Burning it is bad.
Oh really? Why is that?
Have you watched any horror movies, brother?
No, I'm not a horror movie fan. I barely want to hunt monsters right now. Like, you know I don't like. You're my brother. You know I don't like horror movies.
Guys, we need to figure out how to. I need to know more information about this.
Well, this EMF meter isn't going to give us that. It's just telling us that there's spiritual energy around it, you know, electromagnetic fields and stuff. So,
You guys He goes and picks up where you threw it,
Would you say you go to
unless it's thrown.
you say you go pick it up?
Yeah,
Okay, you walk over to pick it up,
yeah.
and it's there. It's not. It didn't run off or anything.
He looks for any tags on whoever
Tags.
design.
Okay.
Like,
You don't find tags. However, you do find a little bit of blood on it, like a speck.
I'm wondering whose blood is this?
I'm also wondering why it's out here. Like, clearly, it wasn't here the whole time. Otherwise, we would have, found it. We've been here for like 6 months. We would have found it way before now. That's my guess.
Yeah.
So, I'm at a loss. I don't know how it got here. Either someone put it here or it moved. I don't know. Maybe it can run on its own. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
I think somebody put it here.
Okay, well. Is there something we can...
He goes,
Go
he
ahead.
goes, there's a speck of blood right there.
Okay. Well, how do we figure out where it came from? That's the problem. We can't just wander around in the woods looking for someone bleeding. Or we could. I mean, I don't know. This is Kansas. I'm sure there's a lot of woods that we can run around looking for, dead people in.
What? I want to do some more research before.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do research on possessed dolls. I'll let you handle that. I'll go get the weapons ready or something. Probably gonna need a lot of salt and iron. That's my guess. And then Baron just heads back in. He leaves the doll with you. He heads back in to prepare for killing a doll. I don't know. So what are y'all doing?
I wish I could put it in a circle of salt right now.
A what?
Oh, put it in a circle of salt.
Oh, I mean
The doll.
you could do that. I mean,
That's what he does.
I'm assuming that they keep salt in the garage. Every room has salt in it. So yeah, you can do that totally. Are you keeping it
Yeah, he's
outside the
gonna-
building or inside the garage, or where are you moving it? You can also put it in the demon
Okay.
dungeon. They have a dungeon in there that they used to hold
Yeah.
demons in.
Yeah, that's where he's gonna put it.
Okay. You put it in a dungeon. You put salt around it, and it just lies there because it's a doll. And meanwhile, my character just goes off looking for more weapons. And what is David up to now?
I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I'm sorry. I've been spacing out.
Oh, that's okay. Alright, Alex. So, it's in salt. What do you do now?
He goes back up to do some more research.
Alright, this place has a huge library, so really this is just going to be a roll. Let me look at the character sheet. You know it's cool, or not cool, I don't know, it depends how you look at it. But because I've spent so much time looking at the Dune character sheet, I don't really call it like security insight anymore. I can just battle faith now, so that's good. Anyway, so this is definitely going to be understand because you're doing research and on lore, or communicate.
Yeah.
I'll say either communicate or understand. But for me, they're both 3. I don't know what they are for you, but you can look up. You can do that, and you can use truth or faith, either one of those. Although obviously truth
Okay.
makes more sense. And I'm gonna say difficulty to get. I'm gonna say it's a scaled difficulty, but the difficulty to get all the information is 3. And I don't think we have any momentum.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a threat to.
Okay. Just keep accumulating that threat.
Okay. Will a threat it won't be a threat.
You're not giving me threat? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm giving you a threat.
Oh.
Threat analysis. Would that be considered a threat?
Hold on, let me look at your character sheet. Threat analysis. Is that a talent? What is it?
Focus.
Focus?
Focus.
Threat analysis. No, because threat analysis is like determining if there's a threat near you. Looking up something in a book is not threat analysis. That would have worked earlier when you were alone in a garage that was pitch black. All right. So what was that? Oh, okay.
True.
Yeah. So, I mean, you find any number of things. It could be a ghost. It could be a demon. It could be all kinds of things. It could just be. It literally could be a bunch of different things. You're not really able to narrow it down. You'll probably have to spend more time researching.
He does spend more time.
Okay.
And he tells Baron and David where the doll is.
All right. Baron comes to the library, and you tell him where the doll is, and he's just like, "Why don't you just burn it outside or something, or at least leave it outside? Don't bring it in here."
In the demon room.
Okay. I mean, great, but we don't know what it is. It could be something more powerful than whatever we think it is. So that's why I'm saying, why don't you just leave it outside? Or kill it. Have you figured out how to kill it yet? Whatever it is.
No, not yet.
Alright, well maybe if we pool our resources and we all, you know,
Look.
we all do some research here, then, and as he says that, the little lamp on the table that we're all sitting around flickers and then dies. And then the rest of the lights around the library begin flickering. And I just look at you like, really?
I didn't do anything.
You brought it in here! Now it's doing stuff in here! Alright, so Alex, if you want to roll again for the research, I'll have Baron and David. We can both assist him, and we could just roll one dice, and that'll be good for an assist. And the difficulty's still 3.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
Oh, so many fails. Just fails everywhere.
Let me do something.
I mean, I definitely have an idea for. I mean, it didn't get a critical. It didn't get a critical fail, but it's still pretty bad. Yeah, so basically what happens is we're studying, we're researching, and we're just not able to narrow it down at all. And then Baron just kind of slams his hands on the table and he's like, look, obviously it got here somehow. So the solution is not going to be in this building. It's going to be out there wherever it came from. I'd say we take the EMF, we get in the car, and we follow the EMF wherever it takes us, and we go there. Because either it walked here or someone dropped it here. Either way, the EMF should tell us where it's going to be, where it needs to be, or where it came from. And Baron just looks around to the two of you, and he's like, do you guys have a better idea? Everyone
I'm
watching is
gonna
like,
continue
Baron's a
looking.
dick. Sorry, go ahead. What'd you say?
I'm gonna continue researching, brother. You can go and investigate with the EMF. You're more of a practical person, I know that.
He just rolls his eyes and looks over to David. He's like, "Are you coming with me, or am I going out by myself?"
I suppose I'll come along.
All right,
I'll,
you do
I'll
the
go.
research, Alex. Me and David will do the actual work. Great, and then we just head out. Um, so what we'll probably do is we'll role play me and David a bit of what we're doing, and we'll come back to Alex and have you roll for another research. Um, so let me. I actually didn't, obviously, because of everything going on. I didn't have time to do the roll 20 stuff. However, I'll just find the closest. I'll just move you guys to the bunker road, or move us to the bunker road. I'll look over to Dave and say, "Do you want to drive, or do you want me to drive?"
I suppose I'll drive. I'll
All right.
drive.
So you'll take Marilyn, your new Corvette. Move my car out the way.
Mhm.
And then as you're driving, he's going to be holding the EMF meter. Because, I mean, we're right. If we're driving, that means we have to leave the garage. So clearly, you know, we're near where the EMF was going off to begin with. So all we have to do is follow wherever it gets stronger. So how about you roll, David? You roll to drive. That'll be move and power. And then I'll roll to do the EMF scan thingy. So let's see. EMF definitely going to be understand and insight. Let's see what we get. I'll say for driving, it's probably just a difficulty 1. And for mine, it's probably difficulty. Would it be 1 or 2? I know it wouldn't be 3. I know that. I'll say, do we have any momentum? Is anyone keeping track? I don't think we do.
No, I don't.
No, you
Okay.
don't.
So I'll say it's difficulty 2, and you're successfully driving, but I'm failing at trying to figure out where the hell this EMF meter is leading us, and that'll give us some momentum because I failed. And oh wait, is it a specific thing I'm supposed to fail at? Let me check. Um, Backup plans. Whoever, whenever you have a fails a task, that's crazy to me. That's even a talent. But yes, we now have a momentum. So I am going to spend. By the way, did you already roll to drive, David?
Oh,
Yeah, it's just Let me go back and look at it. Move and power. Power.
okay.
Difficulty 1. Nice. Alright, so I'll use the momentum since it's difficulty 2. And hopefully be better at life. Alright. Is it? Yeah. Alright, here we go. 3 dice. Focus of supernatural lore or intuition, either one. Nice, finally got it. So yeah, I basically point in the direction you drive us, and we all, at some point after probably like 30 minutes of driving, we end up going down a dirt road and into the woods, of course. But we don't, there's trees on either side of us, but it's not like dense trees. And then when we get to after like 5 minutes of driving down a dirt road, we take there's like a T intersection, and the EMF meter leads us to the right, and then a few more minutes later we come to like a field, and in the middle of the field is nothing but a barn, and it's clearly a rundown piece of crap barn that we find, and So I as we come to a stop, I'm just gonna look over and be like, well, this isn't gonna go well. Whatever happens. Well, you got guns in the trunk, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to get armed up for this, I think. All right. So as we are kind of getting our guns together, we notice. I mean, like I said, it's nighttime, and I'm assuming you left the lights on the vehicle so we can see. If that's the case, then we notice that there are shadows kind of creeping around us, but then when we look at them, they're gone. And then Baron says, "Yeah, this is clearly where something happened or is happening." And then he gets some weapons, and I guess we'll get ready to head towards the barn and figure out what the hell's going on. Is there anything that you want to do, Nostra, before we go back to Max research?
Make sure everything's all set, and ultimately, ultimately try and make sure that hopefully the whatever we'll be bringing won't jam at the worst possible moment.
Yeah. All right. Mac, you are doing research. Difficulty. What I say the difficulty was 3. I'm gonna use
3.
a threat to increase it to 4.
I am going to give you 2 threat to go and roll.
Nice. I just keep on getting threat. Luckily for you, I have a character though, so I can't use it too much or I'll be hurting myself.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the Buffy game and this game, is I'm actually invested in this game as far as everyone's survival, not so much in the Buffy game. Alright, wow.
Damn it.
3 successes. It's so close that you are able to narrow it down between, obviously it's a spirit. In other words, it's not like a witch has put a spell on the doll or anything like this. It's not a demon. You can narrow it down to like some kind of, or it's not a demon in the sense of how they portray it on the show. Like I said, to me, they're all the same thing. But it's something, it's a disembodied spirit of some sort. That's what you can narrow it down to. But other than that, you cannot figure out if it's like a specific type of ghost or you know, because I know in like the first episode they had the white woman or the white lady, the lady in white, that's what they called it. That's like a specific kind of ghost. You can't figure out if it's what kind of ghost it is or spirit it is, but you do know it is a spirit, but not a demon. That's about as far as you get. Is there anything else you want to do besides research? I'll say a lot more lights are flickering at this point too.
He's gonna he rings up Baron.
Okay. Hey, what's
He
up?
says it's a ghost. I don't know what Pacific ghost, but it's ghost.
A ghost?
Yeah.
Disembodied spirit. Okay. All right. Well, obviously, check the hair. Wait, let me actually look and see if there is any hair on that doll that I showed you. But yeah, you want to check the hair because sometimes people use the hair of their kids because they're creepy pieces of shit to make dolls. So make sure there's no pieces of a kid being used in this freaking creature. But as I'm looking at it out of character, it's a wooden doll, I think. So there is no. It's basically everything is carved, so there is no physical hair. So after you check the doll, it's still around, you know, being surrounded by salt. You don't see anything that could be, besides the blood that's on it, obviously. You don't see anything that could be used to kind of tether a spirit to the doll or to this world. So, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
roll as you're checking the doll again. Additionally, roll another faith or reason, faith or truth, and understand, faith, and truth. Either one of those will. But the difficulty is going to be 4. Because you might detect something that you didn't detect before, but probably not.
Okay. It.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna give you 2 threat.
Alright. I'm gonna so use all this threat. Oh, and you got a complication. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that as you're I'm assuming you didn't pick it up, right? You're just looking at it from outside the salt?
No.
Okay. So as you
Yeah,
look at
I'm
it,
looking.
so if you're looking at it right now on the screen, it's basically just wooden eyes. But then as you look at it, it looks like human eyes for a brief second, and then it disappears back to wooden eyes.
Okay. He's gonna put more salt around it.
I don't think that's how it works. I think as long as there's a constant stream of salt, it will keep it in there.
A couple drops of water on it.
What was that? You said more holy water?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going in and out real bad, so just letting you know. But yeah, so whatever you do, it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything. It just lies there because it's just a doll. But the giant black shadow
goes
that's
back up.
creeping over you. Oh, it's gone. What? Go ahead.
It was going back upstairs.
All I heard was downstairs. You're going in and out really bad.
Back upstairs.
Back upstairs, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Because there is no downstairs. You're in a dungeon. Okay. So then what do you do when you get back upstairs? Where are you going? What are you doing?
He's going to do some more research.
Man, this person loves research. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Alright, we'll come back to you. I don't have a picture of a giant field, so we're going with the dark road. Alright, so Baron and David are approaching a barn that is dilapidated, rundown, ruined, just looks like total garbage. In fact, there's probably more empty space that you can, see through and into the barn than there is actual barn left. And Baron's just kind of looks over to Dave and says, "All right, obviously we need to do a perimeter check, make sure there's no traps, make sure there's no monsters or spirits around
Already
here."
on it.
Great. So let's do a battle or understand, either one of those, and faith or truth, either one of those work. Basically an insight check or a perception check. And ooh, you got 2 successes with that crit. I got 1 success, so I don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. However, you, David, you notice in the woods, it's a big field, but further away in the woods, or the tree line of the woods, even though it's pitch black out because, it's dark, you can see the faint outline of 3 individuals. And they kind of seem to be glowing a yellowish white. This lasts probably about 3 seconds, and then they fade into the darkness. But it's not near the barn, just so you know. It's like way near the woods. Baron looks over and says, "Well, everything looks great. I guess we should go inside the barn and see what kind of creepy shenanigans we're going on here." Alright, so walk inside the barn. Looking around, still don't see anything. And as we're looking around, we do hear a little girl's giggling in a corner in the darkness. And I'm like, okay, I look over to you, to David, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. If and by the way, our EMF meters are going crazy off the charts, obviously, or yeah, the one that Baron's holding. So I'm like, that was creepy. But when we shine our lights over, we don't see anything. I go to the door, or I turn around and look at the door that we just came in, and I tap on your shoulder and point to the door to get your attention. And there is a rusty chain now locking the barn doors. And as we look around in this barn, we no longer see the holes that, the giant holes, basically all the wood is still there now, or all the wood is there now. And it looks like we're trapped in this barn. Well, this is not good, Baron says.
Clearly, that is quite obvious, yes. The detector is definitely going insane over this.
Indeed.
Whatever's in there.
More giggling.
Definitely trying to...
More whispers in your ear, David. And then from 3 sides of the barn, you hear hands slapping on the wood. And then after probably 10 seconds, it just stops. And I just slowly draw my Colt 45 1911.
Deadpannedly, David pulls out the SWF sniper rifle.
Baron looks over and says, I don't know if that's going to be a lot of help out here in the dark when they're like 10 feet away about to charge you. Just saying.
Night vision scope.
Ah, of course. And behind me, you can see the same dark, 8-foot tall, dark, shadowy silhouette creeping up behind me. Of course, I don't notice anything because I'm looking at you. Does David say anything?
Oh, look behind. I fucking shoot it right. I just straight up shoot it immediately. I just
duck.
I look like I am pointing. I pointed the gun immediately and just BAM!
Yeah, I dive for the ground like, what the hell? And of course, as you shoot and as I look behind me, there's nothing there. The bullet goes through the wood and out of into the field beyond the barn. And I'm just like, what do you? If there's a spirit, that's not gonna do a whole lot. I mean, even if it is bullets made of iron, these spirits don't seem to care about that.
Unsurprisingly, they immediately retreated upon that.
Well, and as he's
and not to mention it was right behind you anyways.
Well, I appreciate you scaring it away with the loud noise. And speaking of loud noise, you guys, we both start to hear female voices on outside the barn chanting in an unknown language. And well, it's not an unknown language. It's a foreign language, but it sounds vaguely familiar to both of us. And it takes only a few moments before we realize that it's Latin. And Baron says, whatever is out there is trying to cast some kind of spell. We should get out of here. And I just turn and point my gun at the door and the locks and start shooting. I'm probably not going to hit anything. I'm going to actually roll for that to see if I can actually shoot the lock off the door. Let's see. It'd be battle for sure. Control.
Definitely.
And do we have any? I don't think we have any momentum, do we? I don't think so.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't think we do. I think I got us one and then I used it immediately. Alright. So yeah, I fire. It hits the door. I mean, it hits the lock. It turns to dust right in front of us, like the chain, the lock, everything just turns to dust. It was hit by an iron bullet, so of course. And the door, which was open before, kind of swings back open to its normal position because we had walked in, and I mean, I didn't close it behind me, so it probably stayed open. But it swings back open to its open position, and we can see, now both of us can see the faint outline of a, probably like 20 feet away from the barn, the faint outline of a glowing kind of golden white spirit, but after just a couple of seconds it fades back into the shadows. Baron looks over to David. Okay, how about you call Alex and tell him that it's definitely some spirits, and that we need to figure out how to get rid of these spirits. Otherwise, we are gonna be in some big trouble.
Calling.
All right, and by the way, as you're calling Alex, another spirit tries to come in through the doors, and I just shoot it with the iron bullets, and as they go through its, transparent body, it kind of evaporates into mist. But I know that's only gonna keep it away for so long. So yeah, I'll let you go ahead and call Alex.
Can you remind me what kind of spirit we kind of knows? Because as I said, I'm just weirdly just spacing out.
It's all good. As far as we know, it's just a spirit at this point. But based on what we can physically see, it's at the very least the spirits that are outside, that are trying to come in. Those are at the very least some kind of ghost. The spirit, any other spirits that we might be dealing with, we do not know because we've only been able to visibly make contact with the one kind of spirit. So we know for sure there's ghosts involved.
Alex, can you pick up? Alex.
He goes, yes. He goes,
We're currently dealing with a spirit. We're currently dealing with a spirit. A very spirit infestation. We've gotten sightings of what they look like. To some degree, we have visual contact. We were able to scare them off with firearms, however. It's not gonna be have you already figured out a way to remove them from the equation?
Not yet.
I see.
At this time, he is still looking while he's talking to David.
So, Alex, as you're talking to David on the phone begins to kind of, this phone screen kind of flickers. You hear static on the other end, and you hear giggling from the other room. It sounds like it's probably coming from the dungeon.
Oh, great. Not again. Not again.
You're still...
It can just stay in the dungeon.
You're still online talking with David, by the way. The phone didn't completely die. It's just, fluctuating a bit.
He goes, it can stay in the dungeon.
Repeat that?
Holy water and... He says, oh, great. Another spirit. It can just stay in the dungeon with the doll.
All three of us, me, Alex, David, we hear a whisper in our ear. Very clear, unlike the whispers before. And it just says, it's a little girl's voice, probably no older than 10 or 11. And she says, "Release me." And I'm like, hell no. And I just keep shooting, keeping the other ghosts out. How do y'all react?
He goes, nope, I'm going to continue doing this research. He continues looking at the books.
All right. Roll a difficulty 3 research roll. I'm assuming you know what the roll is by now, and I don't have to specify. I turn to
Eh,
David. Has Alex figured it out yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, hopefully soon. And I'm changing out the ammo on my gun. It's still firing. Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you a threat.
all right. Oh, the good news is you figured out what
Yes.
it is. Finally. So yes, you do discover that it is a Dybbuk. It is probably connected to the doll, but it's not possessing the doll. It's not like using the doll to do anything. It's just connected to it. It's able to manipulate the doll and move the doll and stuff like that, but it's not keeping it in the salt probably isn't doing really anything to it because it's not the doll. It's just connected to the doll. Um, it is most likely a Dybbuk that it was at some point trapped somewhere and then was at some point released from that somewhere and is now trying to do something. Um, I'll give you a clue. It's not at the bunker. um, but
He goes,
you still don't figure out how the doll got to the bunker, though. That's a mystery still.
he goes, uh, he goes, David, where are you right now?
We're at the barn.
Look for a box.
Got it. Aaron, we need to
It'll be
find a box.
It'll
Uh,
be
Okay.
you know which? Yeah, he says it's a specific box that can contain something inside.
Baron spins around and looks at David and says, "You know, technically, this barn was a box before we entered it. Damn it." Well, now what? Because, and just so you know, we've already like examined the interior of the barn. There's no physical box anywhere inside the barn. So unless we dig up the foundation of the barn, there's nothing here but the barn itself. So, assuming that's the case, Baron says, assuming that this was where that thing was trapped, what do we do now? And we once again we all hear in our ear, release me.
Basically, does Alex actually figure out how to lock it back into its secure way?
Um, actually, you know what? Let me look that up on Wikipedia. Because that part I didn't look up because I didn't think we would actually get to that part. Um, so either it once it accomplishes its goal or after being exercised. So I'm gonna say I'm just gonna tell you this now. You can't exercise it the same way you exercise a demon. You basically have to do it a different way. Um, I will say that you have discovered how to do that in the research that you've done. However, you have to be at its physical location, which is not where you are right now. You would have to go to the barn.
He goes and grabs the doll
Okay.
and takes the book that has um the physical the what we have to do to exercise it.
All right. So I'm guessing you're driving the Mustang, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the Mustang starts up just fine, mysteriously, and you are able to head out. We, on the meanwhile, are trying to keep these other spirits out. Um, I'll go ahead and describe them because at this point, after like 10 minutes of shooting at them, we would have seen each one at least once. One of them is a little girl, younger than the voice that we keep hearing. She's probably like 6 or 7. The other one is a younger woman, probably in her early to mid 20s, with kind of a devilish grin on her face, and a little bit of blood coming out of her mouth. And then the third woman is, and these are all spirits, by the way. None of them are monsters or anything. But the third woman is older, probably in her late 40s, early 50s. Look of utter sorrow and horror on her face. Definitely, these three are definitely expressing different emotions and different motivations. Like the younger one with the evil look on her face is clearly there just to try to hurt us. The one with the sorrow, the older woman with the sorrow on her face is like reaching towards us, and then I shoot and she disappears, and then she shows up farther away and keeps trying to come towards us with her arms outstretched. And then the little girl looks afraid, but she keeps appearing closer and closer to where we are, but she looks afraid, and then we shoot her and she disappears and then comes back looking afraid. So yeah, David, is there anything you want to do before Alex gets here?
Not really.
Okay, we'll just keep holding them off with our guns. We have iron, we have plenty of bullets. We'll just keep keeping them away from us. In the meantime,
Definitely.
Alex, as you are getting closer to the barn, assuming you're using an EMF to find it or GPS, maybe we give you the coordinates over the phone or something. But either way, as you're getting closer and closer, the doll in your hand begins vibrating a little bit, and you can hear giggling and whispering a lot louder. And more you hear laughing, the giggling, and then release me over and over again. And then as you're approaching the barn, you just hear thank you. What do you do, Alex?
Basically, when he pulls up, he grabs the doll
Okay.
and the book, and he goes, runs in and goes, "Well, we need to exercise it here."
Wait. So just so you know, they are inside the barn, and there are 3 ghosts on the outside of the barn trying to get into the barn. So in order to get to them, you're gonna have to go through the ghosts.
Okay.
So how do you do that? Because as soon as you get closer, they're gonna turn towards you.
He's gonna pull out his Glock and shoot.
All right. So you fight. Well, you'd have to fire at an angle away from the barn. You don't want to accidentally shoot us in the barn. So, but you do that. They disperse for a few seconds, so you can kind of run in. However, as you pass the threshold of the door, assuming are you going into the barn or are you staying outside the barn? I just need to ask to make sure.
He runs into the barn.
Okay. So as you do that, the doll in your hand becomes really, really, really heavy. I'm going to need you to make a strength check to try to keep it in your hand. Okay. It's definitely going to be, I'm going to say discipline and power. Discipline and power.
Discipline.
Well, there's no
That's
fitness.
command.
Yeah, I know. Because there's no, because normally it would be control
Security.
or fitness. And, I mean, I guess you could say security, but let's see. Alright, so you keep it in your hand, but the vibrating has become so, like it feels like you're holding a phone, you know, when your phone vibrates. It feels like that. And eventually, as everybody looks outside the barn, we can all see the 3 spirits that were outside kind of converge together and become like one stream of spirit, so to speak, and then go towards the doll in like lightning speed and go into the doll. And then you guys, or us, we turn and see another little girl, presumably the one that was giggling and whispering, appear. And she says, "Thank you for releasing me." What do y'all do?
He puts it down and he starts
Smashing the doll.
reciting. He starts reciting the very words that he
Right.
exercising
I,
it.
exorcism.
I casually hand over the fucking Bible.
Yeah. Here you go. All right. So you start reciting.
He should. Yeah, he lets David join in.
Yeah, you guys just everyone starts. Okay. So this is gonna be a contested roll because now this Dybbuk has the power of 3 other spirits at her command. So this is going to be actually I'm gonna have to roll because I don't have never had a chance to make character sheets. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna spend so much threat and get 5 dice. So for Alex, it's going to be since you're the one doing the exorcism, it's going to be obviously communicate and presence, whatever presence is. So that'd be duty. And if you want to give me threat to get more dice, or if you guys have momentum, I don't know if you do. And you know what? I'm actually also going to say that if David and myself can assist, we can assist by shooting lead or iron bullets at her, or by reciting, which would be the same roll, but just 1 dice. I am going to do the shooty because I'm better at shooty.
I'm gonna give you 3 threat.
All right. So I'm back up to where I was.
Oof.
Oh, wow. Does David want to assist with shooting or chanting?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can win this one. That's 5 successes. I have to get multiple crits.
Oh, and I'm going to spend how much? You know what? I'm not sure how much momentum would this get. I'll give you like 2 momentum. Why not?
Well, you're only rolling 1 dice because you're assisting, unless you're shooting.
All right.
If you want to shoot, you can
I'm
shoot.
assisting.
Okay.
I'm assisting.
All right. Yep. Just roll communicate and duty. Oh, nice. So I need to get 6 successes. Oh my God! Please get more than 1. You know what? I'm gonna say, yeah, no focuses. It's got to be 1s. 1 success. 2. Wow. I only got 3 successes.
Imagine.
Okay. So, however, you're going to definitely succeed. However, as she is dispersed into the ether, she is going to give you a bit of information. She's going to point in a direction, basically the direction that David, you first saw the ghosts, and as she disappears into ash and smoke and death, she is going to say, "Avenge us," and then she's gone. You have killed the plot. So what do you guys want to do now? Oh, and by the way, even though the EMF meter goes down like a lot, it goes from the red, it goes to the orange. So there's still something spiritual in nature around here, but it's no longer her. The doll doesn't read anything. It's just a doll now. But there is still a spiritual presence, an electromagnetic frequency around here somewhere. Not as close to you as she was, or as the others were. You know, probably out in the woods somewhere. So, what do you guys want to do now?
Wait, you said we killed the plot?
Well, you killed one of the main bad guys in this episode already. So, good job on that.
Oh, okay.
There's still more to do. It just, it depends on which direction you go, whether or not you, handle it or not, or how long it takes, all that good stuff. So no, you didn't kill the plot. You just killed the main bad guy, basically.
Oh.
Or one of the main bad guys. There's more than one.
I see.
I figured that out. There was more than one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when you have 3 other ghosts around. Yeah. All right. So here's my question: do you guys want to save the next part for January, or do you want to continue on and try to finish it tonight?
Can we save it for January?
If you want to, sure. What about Nostra? What do you think?
I think let's save it to January. I'm not really sure what kind of state I am. Maybe it's because of the whole fact that I'm smack dab in the middle of my finals.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So, and also, if you two are available sometime in December, we can do it then. Because of my setup, because of my computer, because of just life in general, I'm not 100% sure if I can even do anything in December. But if it's like it is today, everyone's available. Well, you two are available because you're brothers and you're living in the same place. I know Tali's not, but you guys are living in the same place, so it makes sense. And if my system actually set up to work, then we can do it in December if you want. But as of right now, I have no idea. It's to be determined. But if you want, we can try to figure something out. All right. So that is gonna be it. I'm going to, let's see. Do y'all have any questions that, other than, spoiler questions?
No.
All right.
Alex automatically thinks it's his mum doing
It's
this.